is a disclosure speech from President Trump coming in summer. That's the rumor. That's what's been going around. People are saying that, yep, he's going to make this speech on the history of, or the anniversary rather, of Roswell. Others say that it's distraction tactics. Lots of stuff. I'm going to read an article talking about this very thing. I'm going to play some video discussing this very thing, and we'll discuss it in the interim as far as like what is it? Is it true? Is it false? Is there any shot that this happens? Will people believe it if it happens? So let's start with this article. This one coming from the Mirror. Donald Trump's UFO bombshell speech ready to go, as insiders now say it's a matter of urgency. Donald Trump may already have prepared a speech in which he will publicly disclose decades of alleged UFO and extraterrestrial evidence, ufologist Mark Christopher Lee has claimed. So fresh claims have emerged suggesting that President Donald Trump may be preparing to deliver a bombshell speech revealing decades of alleged UFO evidence to the public. Claims originate from Mark Christopher Lee, a British writer, director, producer, and self-described ufologist who says he was informed by an advisor to the Trump administration that Trump has received permission from fellow world leaders to make an official announcement regarding unidentified flying objects. An advisor to the Trump administration told me the president has been given authority by the other major world leaders to make this announcement, Lee told the Daily Mail. According to Lee, the address would expose the truth behind decades of evidence concerning unexplained aerial phenomena, materials recovered from alleged crash sites, and military eyewitness accounts that he maintains bear no resemblance to any known human technology. He will confirm the forensic analysis of recovered off-world vehicles and non-human biologics. He will confirm the forensic analysis of recovered off-road vehicles and non-human biologics has established their extraterrestrial origin, Lee stated, describing the speech as the first official acknowledgement of this reality by any world leader. The address was initially scheduled for the United Nations General Assembly in September, Lee revealed, but has reportedly been rescheduled to mark the 79th anniversary of the Roswell incident on July 8th. New intelligence developments have made it a matter of urgency, Lee explained. I do feel that President Trump likes to act spontaneously and may not want to wait until July 8th. He might also suspect that Russia or China could jump the gun. Lee suggests the planned address would formally acknowledge several well-documented UFO encounters already confirmed by the U.S. military and scrutinized during congressional hearings. These include the November 2004 USS Nimitz incident, the 2015 USS Theodore Roosevelt Go Fast and Gimbal events, and the infamous 1947 Roswell occurrence. The 2004 Nimitz encounter has attracted particular attention following sworn testimony from ex-Navy fighter pilot David Fravor, who told Congress in 2023 that he was diverted during a training mission off San Diego to investigate an unidentified object picked up on radar by U.S. Navy vessels. He described witnessing a white 40-foot craft with no discernible wings or propulsion system shaped like a tic-tac. Fravor recounted how the object mimicked his aircraft movements before accelerating away at extraordinary speed, then mysteriously reappearing roughly 60 miles distant at a classified meeting point moments later. Likewise, in 2015, further encounters with unexplained objects were documented by pilots and radar operators aboard the USS Roosevelt. Dubbed Go Fast and Gimbal, these incidents were captured using infrared targeting equipment and only made public by the Pentagon years afterwards. Lee attributed the details to a source he characterized as a successful business person acting as an advisor to Trump administration officials, who was purportedly also engaged in examining archived UFO material in preparation for the planned disclosure. He will emphasize that he is the first president to authorize full disclosure because the American people deserve transparency, Lee stated, noting that the address would additionally reference geopolitical stability and cross-party congressional initiatives as factors making disclosure feasible at this time. All right, let's call it what it is. After you turn 30 years old, I don't care. It doesn't matter. Even if you're drinking alcohol responsibly, the next day you're going to feel less than 100%. There's more negative effects from alcohol than just dehydration. Otherwise, how can alcohol be hard on your brain and liver? It has a depressant effect on specific receptors in your brain, and it is toxic to your liver. If If you wear an Apple Watch, whoops, Garmin, Aura, you can literally see it. Even a few alcoholic drinks crush your sleep and the next day readiness. So that's why when I got Cheers Restore, I was like, uh-oh, come on, show me. And that's exactly what they did. So Cheers Restore, it's a dual action after alcohol aid. Its ingredients support both your brain and your liver after consuming alcohol. Cheers was originally invented by a student at Princeton based on research into a novel compound called DHM. DHM demonstrated powerful alcohol-related properties in the brain and liver. So Cheers was designed for how alcohol actually affects your body, not just dehydration. And don't just take my word for it. Cheers has appeared on Shark Tank, and today Cheers is sold in over 30,000 stores, whether it's Walgreens, CVS, 7-Eleven, Circle K. They've sold over 50 million doses, 7,500 4- and 5-star reviews on Amazon, and Cheers is backed by doctors, PhDs, and they all share it with their patients. Cheers, promise, it's simple. You'll feel about 50% better the next day or your money back. Basically, 2 drinks feels like 1 the next morning. All you do is take 3 capsules after your last drink or before bed. It's not for college binge drinking. If you have 12 tequila shots, you're probably still going to feel rough. But if you had a normal adult responsibly having 2, 3, 4 drinks, you'll feel significantly better with Cheers. The same night out, way better morning with Cheers. So for a limited time, our listeners will get 20% off their entire order by using that code DTE at cheershealth.com. Head on over to cheershealth.com. Use the code DTE for 20% off. You're going to purchase it. They're going to say, hey, where'd you hear about us? Tell them that we sent you. That helps us. That helps you. And you're going to have a nice day the next day. Okay, so there's the initial report overall that this is going to happen during the summer, that there is urgency to get it done. Now, there's a lot of different ways that you can interpret the urgency, right? The first part of the urgency is what they say there. They want to make sure that they beat the other countries, because if the countries know about it, if Russia knows about it, if China knows about it, they say, okay, look, he's planning on doing this in the summer. We got to beat him to it, because it doesn't look like everybody would agree to it. Well, then, yes, so the urgency would be, wait, they're going to go first because they know that I'm going to do this now. By Roswell, they're going to announce it first. And I don't see why they wouldn't do that if all this was legit, right? Why, if all these reports are out there, and then they could do the intel and say, yeah, he's planning on doing it. Because if the Daily Mail knows about it, I can guarantee Russia or China know about it. So you would assume, okay, let's move faster. That's one reason why urgency would happen. Because if it was initially planned for September, then planning it for July. That's if you believe that any of this is even a thing. The other thing that should be absolutely brought up here is all the stuff going on with the Epstein files. If you are this administration, especially with everything that happened with Pam Bondi yesterday at the hearing and all that, and how there's a back and forth between both parties. Both parties are not. It's not one of these things. It certainly is leaning one way over the other of who wants the stuff disclosed and who doesn't, as far as the files go. But there are people on both sides that are saying, let's put this out into the open. What is happening here? So I think that there's a portion of people that want it to go away. It ain't going away. But if you are this administration, this certainly would be a way to make people go, oh, wait, you mean aliens are here? You mean you just told us about aliens and spacecraft and all that? All right, maybe my attention can be diverted for a second. That's the intent of what they think would happen, how the world would change overnight if they did a speech this particular way. But don't make any mistake about it. It absolutely would be a diversion tactic, but it's one of these things that also people would be like, oh, right, well, it's something to actually listen to, talk about. And we always said this about it. If there was going to be one guy that decided, hey, I want to be the guy that tells everybody about this, it's him. So it's not unbelievable to think that this is a conversation that was had. And it's starting to carry on to more people. More people are hearing about it. I mean, even President's own Lara Trump was on her podcast, and someone asked her about it, and this is what she said.
Next question. What do you or the president know about UFOs? Can you share? I hear that the president has something in the queue to share with us about all of this. Now, truth be told, I'm trying to remember how long ago it was. It may have been right after he left office, after the first term. I remember Eric being like, all right, what can you tell us? And he was a little hesitant to give us any real info, which makes me think like he's got a lot of info out there and he's waiting for the right time to drop it. And maybe this is going to be the time, because I keep seeing all these stories about how he's got some like UFO speech that he's got queued up, and we all should just kind of sit back and wait. Now, here's the thing I'll say. What do I know about UFOs? What I know is that our universe is so enormous. It actually, if I start thinking about it, it makes me a little crazy. You think about just our solar system, okay? And then you think about how many solar systems like ours are in our galaxy. And then you think about how many galaxies are in this universe. The whole thing is just, it's kind of like mind-boggling. So the idea that the only form of intelligent life out there is us, that we're like twerking on TikTok and stuff, that's it. I don't know. I find it hard to believe. I fully believe that there's other life out there throughout the universe. And if you look at some of the like prophets, these are people hundreds of years ago, or I don't even know how long ago. A lot of them say that sometime soon we're supposed to have some sort of an interaction with another form of life from outside of our planet. So I don't know. I fully believe there's more out there. I think it would be a heck of a waste of space if it's just us here and we're doing like dumb challenges and again, like just twerking on TikTok. There's got to be more out there.
What the hell does that mean? I don't know. It looks like she, has heard the same type of stuff that we're talking about here. People are talking about the speech and how he was gearing up for something. She seems to think he's got something cooking up when it comes to it. Seems pretty clear. She's heard he's got things cooking up about it. And then she talks about conversations that she had with him about it and how he was hesitant to talk about things too much about it. So, is someone on his circle kind of hearing the same thing? It wouldn't surprise me if it happened. It wouldn't surprise me. And even when Burchett was talking about it a while ago and said Coldheart had said it at one point, that he'd have to say it. He was going to talk about it, and I'm going to bring up Ross and Meagan Medick in just a moment. But it wouldn't surprise me. Now, I don't think it's going to happen, in my personal opinion. Now, if it was right around the case of around the same time as Roswell, yeah, sure, it would make sense. You're like, hey, or around this time, 1947, when this went down, people had said this. Well, I'm here to tell you the truth behind it. And it's all anybody would talk about. There would be quite a lot of people who were saying what I just said before, that it was a distraction tactic and that it was BS and all that. And I wonder, I'm so curious. Here's a question that I'm so curious about in general. Hypothetically, if this did happen and Balloons West was like, if it happened where Trump comes out and said that, would Balloons West say, okay, you know what, I guess I was wrong? Or would he say, no, he's just, I don't know where he lands on the political spectrum. So maybe that would give him more cause to say it. But I just wonder, the people who have been, opposed or saying, opposite, that none of this stuff is real and it's BS. If that happened, what would they say at that point? Would they say you're lying? Or would they say, oops, it looks like I was wrong? But then again, I don't think he's going to say anything because I don't think anything's going to happen. I think the chances of this speech actually coming to fruition are about 2%. But we're doing the what ifs here. Meagan Medick, friend of the show and producer on Ross Coldhart's show, spoke to Ross Coldhart about this very thing and this is a longer clip from Megan's channel, so please go over there and check it out. But I want to play her clip and we'll talk about what they say.
Sunday. First and foremost, filmmaker Mark Christopher Lee, I'm sure you've seen these claims. It is all over my X feed right now, saying that President Trump is preparing for disclosure. He has a speech allegedly already written, and that is coming on July 8th, the Roswell anniversary. Ross and I talk about it. Ross says, not so fast. He's not really buying it. I did see Mark Christopher Lee doubling down on X on this last night with a video saying he trusts his sources and it's happening. So that's definitely something that we are going to watch very closely, Ross and I.
Hey, so on the phone with me now is Meagan. And Meagan, I just watched your clip. I was talking about it because I looked at the report from Mark Christopher Lee about and so I looked at that speech. Have you heard anything since? Because I know this video is a little older when you guys did this, but have you heard, is he still doubling down on it? Is this still something he says is going to happen in July?
Oh, yeah. He is like all eggs in this basket that this is happening. He is saying that he has more sources, that he trusts his sources, that this is happening. The disclosure is coming. And then you have that video from Lara Trump.
Right, I played that. Kind of I played that.
So I don't think she's saying anything there, right? Like, I don't know if you feel differently, but people saw that and then they were like, oh, yeah, this is upping the ante, that this is coming. But I watched that and I just thought, she's not saying anything.
The only thing that I thought that she said, the only thing I thought that she said was that that could give some cadence to that is that she said it looks like he's got something cooking, is what she said in the beginning of it. She's like, it looks like, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything general. But like she said that, when they spoke to him at the barbecue, he was kind of playing, that he clearly was hesitant about what he was saying, but she seems to think that it's possible, is what I got in that clip. Doesn't necessarily mean it's a definite, but it looks like there's something potentially coming. My question is this, and I'm curious how you feel about it, is that, all right, one of the things I read in that, it was another report, I don't know if it was Daily Mail or wherever I read it from, but they had said that there's a hesitancy by the administration to do it. And I said, of course there is, and a lot of different reasons. I said the first is the potential of other countries going first. Because initially it was September. Now they want to do it in July. The other thing is a distraction. And a distraction from the Epstein files. I get it. My question is, if this report is now going out there, if you guys are reporting on it, if this is going out there, and you're Russia or China, and you know that you're going to have better sources than the Daily Mail. If you're those countries, wouldn't you go first now to combat this?
Yeah, but let me take a different approach. Okay. Do they care enough? Because I don't think that the citizens of that country are standing up and saying, we want it, we want it, we want it, like we are, right? I think that their governments are more of like, you're going to get what we give you. And if we're going to not talk about something, then that's the deal. That's what it is. When, we live in a democracy where we can say, hey, release those files. Hey, do this. We're going to vote and we're going to get behind this and that, and kind of push for it. We push for disclosure. I don't think that those countries have a system set up where people can actually push for disclosure other than asking the questions and putting it out there and then not getting a response. So they could always, let's say the President Trump says, the president will explain that previous administrations maintained secrecy due to national security concerns, technology uncertainty, the fear of public reaction, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so we come through with those things and we do disclosure. Did China and Russia just say, we still don't know anything? They might have a more advanced technology than us, and the United States might know that. You know what I mean? So they might know, hey, they have a bigger UAP. They've reverse engineered a different kind of craft. They've known for 100 years longer than us. They're more advanced than that. So is the U.S. showing their cards early actually a play up in a sense of like, haha, like we did it and you can't come after us for it? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong in thinking that. I hate that as human beings is how we are going to do that as far as a species, right? It's like you would assume, and what you would want is that Independence Day movie thing of like, oh, we've just decided that what we've been playing, these ridiculous politics all these years, are they're ridiculous. They're silly. They mean nothing. But that's
yes, incorrect. It's playing politics. It's not reality. I don't know. The more that comes out with the Epstein files and the stuff that Nicki Minaj is saying about the satanic rituals in Hollywood and all this, the more I'm just like, this is all fake. We are the new media, and we will get to the truth, and be damned if you believe us or not. Yeah. That's what disclosure. That's kind of what's coming in my mind.
Do you think that this speech is actually going to happen? What are your thoughts on it?
I think he might give a speech and maybe touch on it. I've been briefed. I hear rumblings, but full disclosure, it just seems a little lofty of a goal, I think, at this point in time, because to pre-plan it so far in advance, we don't know what else is going to come up. You know, is there going to be another world war? God forbid, no. Is there, going to be massive protests going on with ICE? Are airports going to be shut down because of drone sightings? I don't know what's going to come and what's going to be happening in the world at that time. Typically, as from a news producer point of view, summer months are slower. We try to pre-produce a bunch of stuff and get a bunch of things booked in the can because there isn't a ton of news over the summer. So maybe that's a play, but a full speech on the disclosure that we want, probably not.
Yeah.
And I hope I'm wrong. Look, I hope I'm wrong.
I think you're right. And I think that you're also right when it comes to what's planned today is not planned for tomorrow. 100%. I would probably say that it's probably not going to happen. And then the last question I'll ask you before I let you go here is that, and the same thing I said is, what do you think when it comes to, because obviously there's always naysayers, and every time there's any kind of footage, they couldn't even watch it. It's a balloon, and it doesn't matter what, it's a balloon. If Trump makes that speech and says, we're not alone, Roswell was real, the Tic Tac was real, all this stuff was real as reported, do the naysayers then go, okay, I was wrong? Or do they stick to their guns and go, nope, that was AI, that wasn't really Trump?
Gosh, I mean, I don't think people who are that close-minded are ever going to be the people who say I was wrong.
Right.
I think it takes an open-minded person to say they were wrong. So maybe they won't be saying, yo, I'm wrong, but they might say, well, now what's the new approach to debunking the rest?
Right.
So these couple of things are real, but these things are still fake. And it's funny you asked that when you called. I'm literally watching the Nazca Mommy special.
Oh, okay.
With Ross. I'm literally editing it and making notes with it right now. So it's like I'm just more in this like the debunker phase of like, okay, now what's the next big thing that people are going to come after? So
yeah, it's true.
I think it's just like politics. You will always find the next thing to attack or go after or set your platform on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so the November surprise of the Hunter Biden laptop didn't work. Now what are we going to attack? And vice versa. Like there's always something that you're going to find that you'll figure out a way to make an argument.
Well, it's very interesting to see in general. I appreciate your coverage on it, and I appreciate you taking the time to get on the call today. I look forward to doing another show with you soon.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for calling me and not putting me on camera because I'm not camera ready.
No worries. Thank you. It was kind of
looking out.
Yeah, no worries. It was kind of like an impromptu thing. So I'm glad that you took the time. Yeah, thank you so much.
I'm in like editor rabbit gremlin hole.
Well, crush it.
Good looking out.
Thank you so much. And yeah, we'll talk very soon.
Absolutely. Talk later.
Thanks, Megan. Bye. All right. So there's Megan, and I think she makes excellent points. I think she makes excellent points on letter, and especially when you look at it in her, she's in the thick of this thing. She's talking to Ross. She's talking to everybody too. I think that there is a very good possibility that maybe they have something planned. But as she said, and I think very well said, that tomorrow they have this planned, but they realize at the very end of today, we have to focus on another thing. Let's scrap that. That's not anything to actually pay attention to. It's an interesting point of view about the other countries, what she said, where they're just like, we're not ready to disclose what we have. You guys want to let people know what you have? Go ahead. And then let us know So then that way we can compare notes. We're not ready to tell you guys. And, oh, interesting. You guys have that? Good. We're going to tell our scientists that you guys have that, and that now we're going to work on this. And maybe that's what people are afraid of. And that's one of the reasons why they haven't had their other countries haven't done it first. I thought it was a very, very good answer as far as why they wouldn't go first. Anyway, what do you guys think? Is this going to happen? Is this just another BS nonsense? Put your thoughts in there. Let us know. Make sure you check out Meagan, by the way. Go on over to Meagan's YouTube channel. I'll put the link in the description and check her out on Ross Coulthart Show as well. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. And we'll see you on the flip side.